there, Blazer fans. Good to see you again. This is Mark Ingram coming to you live with our head coach for women's basketball, Randy Norton, and our head coach for men's golf, Mike Wilson, joining us on today's Blazer Insider. Thanks very much for joining us. Want to jump right in. Coaches, how you doing? You doing all right?
Hanging in there, Mark.
Good.
Hanging in there as well.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys. I want to talk to our fans a little bit about coronavirus, like we've talked about probably ad nauseum at this point, no pun intended, and give the fans a perspective on where you guys were. I know that I was at the basketball tournament with you, Randy, in Frisco, Texas, and the basketball tournament got shut down, and soon thereafter, the NCAA basketball tournament was shut down. You know, what was that like being with the team, and how did you share that news with the team? Because I think there were two teams, if I'm not mistaken, there was a couple of teams on the court in Frisco warming up, and we pulled them off the court to tell them too. So what was that like for you and your team?
Well, you know, we just had a staff meeting a little bit ago, and we were all trying to remember exactly when we found out. But we all agreed it was when we landed. So we had flown home Thursday, and when we got off the flight, we saw that Conference USA tournament had been shut down. And it was you know, and a lot of things followed after that. But at that point, it was just like we were taking one step at a time. And we told our team when we got off the bus, well, we'll keep you posted, and let's plan on, you know, getting back together for practice on Monday, but have never seen them since.
Yeah, which is tough. And you know, were they just shocked about the NCAA tournament and all that, and the NIT and all those things?
Everything. And, you know, I remember when we were getting off the bus, you know, we found out the conference tournament was canceled. And I said, well, you know, we'll just have to play it by ear. But we know that we're going to be in the WNIT, and we'll just plan on Monday. But in the meantime, you know, get those bodies rested up, hydrate. I know the conference tournament didn't end the way we wanted, but, you know, we're going to have another opportunity, and let's really take advantage of that. And that was it.
Yeah. Now, Coach Wilson, you were at a tournament also. You were with your men's team at a golf tournament. Talk to everybody about that. What was that like?
Yeah, we were at Georgia Southern playing our practice round, and it was, you know, we teed off at 9 a.m. Eastern, so everything was still a go at that point. And, you know, I was on my phone quite a bit in the practice round, I think some with you, and just getting updates. And the guys probably aren't used to me being on my phone in that situation. And, you know, on the 16th hole of the practice round, we told them we're good to go and we're going to play. And then when we walked off the 18th green, that's when I spoke with you again, and that's when they had canceled everything. And, you know, we just said, load up the van, go back to the hotel, shower, get your stuff, and we're on the road going home. And, you know, that part was tough. We were ranked 40th in the country, and, you know, I think we were going into a good week. And then on the ride home, it's about 5.5 hours at 4 o'clock, I guess Twitter came up, and the NCAA announced the end of the season. So that we were just shocked. You know, the guys didn't really know what was going on. And, you know, I had a decent amount of knowledge. I know we had spoken about it in that last head coaches meeting right before y'all went to the conference tournament with the basketball teams. And, you know, something's going on with the band and I don't know if I don't think anybody traveled. And, yeah, it was a challenging situation just how to talk about it. And then when the tournament ending, but then the season just over. And, you know, that was the last time I saw them. I think it was March 12th.
Yeah, and, you know, we were having one of our best seasons in men's golf in school history, and I know that was disappointing for you and certainly for the team. And, you know, we're going to have another opportunity to do that again this year, as we always do. But, you know, I'm sure it was tough. And if I'm remembering right, Mike, there was initially when we first spoke about, you know, where are you, what's going on, and should you come back or not? Am I remembering right that initially the tournament was talking about going ahead and finishing the tournament,
Yeah, so we didn't start round one yet. It was going to be the next day. And originally at that point, I think there were 15 teams in the field and no one had dropped out yet. And Georgia Southern was planning on hosting the event since we were already all there. And then I think that's kind of when it went ACC, pulled everything. And then I believe Conference USA was like right behind them. And then by the time we dropped, there were still like 12 teams left in the field, but I knew at that point it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. Well, so since then, you happen to have a sport and you're fortunate where people can be outside and space, socially distance themselves from one another and at least hit balls, and a lot of golf courses have remained open. Talk to everybody about what your team has been doing and what you've been doing with them and so on.
I mean, they've all still been playing. The courses here, I don't know if they shut down at all. If they did, they were just for a couple days, and then they put in all the social distancing type regulations, like not touching the flag stick, not sharing a cart without someone in your same household. And, I've studied a lot of this, and golf is probably the safest activity you can do. It's really easy to social distance. And I think our guys have been out there pretty much every day. I haven't been able to see any of them with the NCAA rules and being stuck at home anyway. But they're playing in tournament. They have tournaments coming up in June that they're all going to be playing in, and the Alabama Golf Association is back up and running, so that's good for our guys.
Yeah, that's great. Now, Coach Norton, you've got a different situation, a little tougher, because kids want to get in the gym, they want to be on a regulation goal, they want to be on a flat surface, different than their driveway. But I'm guessing a lot of them are having to do just that, which is practice in their driveways and that kind of thing. What's your team been doing over the last 11 weeks?
Well, it's just amazing. As I look back on each month, we ended up calling, instead of March Madness, it was March Manage, and so many things to manage, whether it's your staff, our 6 seniors, the returners. We have 7 new kids coming in. And so I feel like the month of March, the rest of the month was just, number one, we wanted our kids to really finish strong in the classroom. And that was going to be different for everybody. So we were pretty much Zooming 3 or 4 times a week, just making sure everybody understood what they needed to do and just to take care of their business. And since we had just finished up, it really wasn't that big a deal for the month of March to rest their bodies. And then when we got to April, we thought, okay, let's, for a while, the NCAA allowed us to work the kids out, on Zoom and do some workouts and things like that. And so April, they spent the month doing that. And in the meantime, we just, continued to meet and talk and make sure everybody was doing okay, because it affects everybody in different ways. And, and at first I think it was kind of new and people were kind of working through it. And then, you get to May, I think at the month of May, we're all ready. Hey, okay, we're ready to do something different, what we've been doing the last 2 months. So.
Yeah. Well, getting out in your driveway and working on ball handling and that kind of thing. I guess your team has been doing some of that. So
well, they have, and they're all over the country, and so those that are back in the Midwest, they haven't had good weather. I mean, there were times we said, okay, at first there were some gyms still open, and then those got closed, and then there were outdoor parks where the kids would go shoot. Well, then they took all the hoops down. So then the only thing they had left were their driveways. Well, then some of them would say, Coach, it's snowing here today, so I'm not going to be able to get any shots up. So they all had different challenges that they had to work through. But to be honest with you, I'm really proud of just the way they've been working out. And when they can get out, they've done ball handling, and they'll go in the garages and work, because you can always do ball handling somewhere, And but as far as shooting, I think that's been challenging. But I think I told you the other day, all of our returners are in Birmingham right now. They wanted to be together, and there's no place for them to work out here right now, but at least they're together.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can imagine that every one of our student athletes, particularly given that their spring was cut short, whether they were in season or not in season, they're all ready to get back to practice and prove that they're ready for a championship. And I know both your teams are that way. Okay, so I want to switch gears now, and I'm going to tell you, I have done more yard projects around my house in the last 10 weeks than I have in 5 years. My wife has had a lengthy list of things for me to do. At the same time, I've got 4 children who've been going to school online, and we were well, we learned very quickly, my wife and I did, that we were not meant to be teachers, and that was not our gift. And there's a reason why they go to school every day, because online education is not what we're good at. But what have you guys been doing, unrelated to your job and your team? What's been going on? Randy, I'll start with you. What's
Okay.
Miss Claire had you doing?
Well, Claire, we found out the same time that we were both going to work from home. She works for Protective Insurance, and so she's got her desk, and I work at the table. And our mornings are pretty busy, and then we both get a workout in every day. We've been working out, and afternoons for me is a lot of recruiting. I've done a lot of different things to just try to become a better coach, leadership, motivational, those types of things. It's been a great opportunity to try to make yourself better. And then at nighttime is our family time. So I tried to make sure we didn't have anything. We've watched way too much TV at night, way too much. Another goal that I thought, well, hey, this would be a good time to get into shape, which I've done. I wanted to lose some weight, but I found that didn't work out. That didn't go as planned. It's just too easy to sit around and nibble.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the problem. I'm familiar with that. Now, what about you, Coach Wilson? You've got 3 little ones at home, and your wife works too. What's been going on there in the Wilson house?
Yeah, my wife works from home, which normally involves a lot of travel, but obviously they are not traveling right now. So she's fortunate enough to still have her job, and pretty much she's in the office from 9 to 12 and then 2 to 5. So I started out with great intentions of doing homeschooling. We had lessons, tried to do circle time like they do at the daycare and all these things. The first week hung in there, and then after week 2, it just became trying to manage not too many fights. I mean, my oldest is 5, so 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old girls. So it's a lot of playtime with them, and just trying to keep them busy, still do a little bit of learning. And like you said, I'm definitely not made to be a homeschool teacher.
Yeah, how many games of Duck Duck Goose can you play, right?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Today I let them do outdoor painting on our patio, and my 2-year-old is covered in paint, and then I just passed her off to my wife to clean her. So
Get
yeah,
that hose out in the
I'm
yard.
learning some new skills, changing a lot of diapers.
Yeah, you get that hose out in the yard and just hose her down.
Yeah.
So,
But an interesting thing, we made our best investment ever. We bought a water slide with a pool from Walmart, and it wasn't too expensive, and it's been great.
yeah,
We just
good
load
move.
that thing up, and water bill's gotten a little high, but let them play in it for 2 or 3 hours and makes them tired, and it's a lot of fun. So
Yeah, you're dad of the year all of a sudden.
yeah, it's there's been some a lot of positives. I've been able to spend a lot of time with my kids.
Yeah,
But it's they're ready to go back to daycare, and I think we'll be doing that shortly.
yeah, that's good. Now I understand. I've spent more time with my children. That has been a blessing. I would have never had the amount of time at home with my kids that we've had. Um, my oldest is going off to college, and in a few months, and so actually in about a month he leaves, and so having that time with him in particular, but all of them together, has really been nice. And it was an adjustment, though. Those first couple of weeks was a real adjustment, because you're not used to that. And I've read articles before about how to get along with all your coworkers, and that works really well. It's a lot of good, helpful information usually in those articles. except for when that coworker is also your spouse. And so, you're sharing an office with your coworker who is your spouse. And that's a different dynamic. It's just all new. So I know how you feel. All right. So now, Randy, you said you've been watching a lot of television. So now I'm curious, show of hands, who has watched the Tiger King?
A little
There you
bit.
go. All three, 100%. I think this is the first group that's been 100% yes. Or maybe the first group
Didn't complete it.
You
but
did not complete it.
No, watched a little bit of it just to see what everybody was talking about.
It's crazy. So what have you been watching though, Randy? What's been going on in the Norton house?
Well, we like espionage and things like that. So right now we're watching Homeland. That's been good. We watched Ozark. We watched Goliath, which is about a small-time lawyer that takes on the big companies. And so, but yeah, those have kept us entertained at night. And we try not to watch any TV until nighttime. Otherwise, you could get caught up watching way too much.
All day.
All day, yeah.
Now, I have not seen Ozark, but my wife and I have seen Homeland, the entire series, which is
Really?
pretty long. I think there's like 10 seasons or something.
Yeah.
But we had started that several months ago, and it's really good. You like that?
It is, yeah.
How about you, Mike? I know you've been watching something else. What's been going on?
We watched the Last Dance. We watched Tiger King, and we're in Ozarks, but it's sometimes once or twice a week.
Yeah.
We're ready to go to sleep about 8:00.
After
once we get them to bed, it's sometimes some TV, sometimes not. It's a pretty long day. I tried to quit watching the news so much for myself.
Yeah.
But just get enough information. But we get plenty from every other source. So.
Yeah, after doing that water slide all day, the kids are worn out, and so is Dad, right?
Yes. No water slide today, though. Yesterday was about 6 hours.
Yeah. Well,
that was good.
That is good. Well, I appreciate you guys very much. We're going to get through it. We've got great plans to come back soon, and we fully intend to be all systems go in the fall. So, we've been telling all of our fans to get their season tickets, and whether it's football or men's and women's basketball, everything, because we're going to come together with a plan for our fans to socially distance and do whatever's required at that time, and make sure that not just our staff and players are safe, but also our fans. So we'll be doing that and getting that information out to everybody as the seasons draw closer. But I appreciate you guys being on the call today, and we'll just ask, is there any parting thoughts for our fans? Coach Wilson, anything you want to share?
Just hang in there, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you all in the fall. And go Blazers.
That's right. How about you, Coach Norton?
Well, I just feel like we're really blessed to be at UAB and just have such great leadership and have one of the best medical facilities in the country. And so really excited about what the future holds. And again, just thank Blazer Nation for all your support and everything that you do for our athletic teams.
Yeah, no doubt. You said it there. And I would say the same thing about how fortunate we are to be here in Birmingham and to have a medical facility like UAB, which is tremendous, and certainly appreciate all of our doctors and nurses and the people on the front lines who are working every single day to try to help us eradicate this virus. So we appreciate all of your hard work and everybody who risks their own health every day to help keep the rest of us safe. So thank you very much. And with that, I'll close out today's Blazer Insider. I want to thank Coach Randy Norton and Coach Mike Wilson, and thanks very much for everybody and all that you do, all of our Blazer fans out there. And just like what our coaches said, go Blazers. Bye, everybody.